If you guys haven't thought about it yet, heat can be a very important resource in emergency situations. And it's important to be prepared to manage heat effectively in order to maintain your health and well-being, as hypothermia can onset very quickly and be very, very deadly. This might involve having access to different sources of heat, such as a fire or a portable heating device like this one. Today we're taking a look at a way to keep warm using AC power, and this is the Newair 400 watt under desk heater. All right, folks, welcome back. So we have heard a whole lot about recent attacks on our power grid, on power stations, stuff like that. We have had here in town in the past week 3 different major outages in town. We really don't know why it's happening. It's happening a lot. The power company will explain that it's this transformer or this thing or this energy line blew or whatever, but they've pretty much taken a good 3/4 of the town's power out. So keeping warm, now that it's winter, is really important. Now, I've shown you a bunch of propane, butane type of heaters over the years. This is something a little bit different, and I wanted to use this, and I've actually been using this. I wanted to use this to show you that if something plugs into a wall, it's not completely useless as a survival item, because now we have the advent of power stations and what they can do, and we are going to run this on a power station. The smallest one I have, okay, it's an Opus 600 watt one. And I'll give you some info on that later, but I want to show you this first. Now, cold can be a killer. As I mentioned in the intro, hypothermia is a very real thing, even sitting in your home or in your vehicle or whatever. It can really take you out pretty quick if you get too cold. We saw that recently with the big snowstorms where they were finding people in their vehicles, finding people frozen in their homes. Very, very dangerous situation, and it's always good to have a way to heat yourself up. This is an interesting little design. This isn't full of radiators. This is an oil radiator heater. It's kind of interesting. There's oil inside of it. It will heat up. It does heat up from the bottom to the top, I've noticed. Now, I've been using this out here for about 2 weeks in my garage. I've had it on the floor down, at the bottom here, just keeping me warm. And I got to say, for a small area, even though my garage is fairly large, for a smallish area, this does a really, really good job. Another really nice thing about this is the tiny amount of power it uses. Now, if you guys have ever plugged in those little ceramic heaters to power stations, I know sometimes I've seen other channels actually test their power stations with the little ceramic heaters. You know, those things suck down power like crazy, 1,200 watts, 1,100 watts. This thing is only 400 watts. And from my tests with other power stations, I see it only pulling about 350, which is pretty darn good. Now, again, don't know how accurate all my power stations are, but they all kind of agree with each other. This is around 350, 360. Really not bad at all. The best part, only 3.3 amps. So you're not sucking down a ton of power to keep yourself warm. Now, are you going to stay warm forever on this thing? No, of course not. The battery is eventually going to die. However, it could warm you up enough in intervals where you can charge up your power station with solar and keep this going. So it definitely is something to think about with your preps, especially if you've got a very big power station. You guys saw me review that Anchor that literally has like suitcase wheels on it. That would run this for a very, very long time. Now, they market this as a desk heater for your feet. You keep it down on the ground and it'll keep your feet warm. I would say it does a whole lot more than that. It puts out a good amount of heat. It really keeps you nice and warm in a larger area. And the lower you put it, remember, heat rises. So the lower you put it, the better it's going to be. I put it in front here. I have a power station at the bottom here running my studio lights, and I put it right next to that. And I don't have to worry about anything being melted or anything. I'm far enough away from everything. So it's safe, but it really does. While I'm sitting here talking to you, that heat's coming up onto me, and it's like, wow, I'm not in a cold garage anymore. That's really, really cool. So I'm going to explain how it works really, really quickly. I want to show you just how you turn this on and off. Let me zoom in over on the controls and show you how that works. All right. Now, another neat feature of this is how slim it is. So you do have to kind of hold on to it while you're turning it on. It's very, very slim. Your power button is on here. Now, this is on. I've had this on for a while, actually, because it's freezing cold out here today. I turned it on, and this is your thermostat. Now, I have it on max because, of course, we're testing this out to see how much heat we can get off this thing. And you will notice that it is warmer at the bottom than on the top. So that's really it. Now, if there's any malfunction, the caution light will go on. You will unplug it, no big deal. But that's your thermostat and that's your power. It's that simple. I want to turn it sideways here so you can kind of see just how thin this unit really is. And that's it. It's basically a thin little blade of metal there. Not much to it. Very, very thin, very, very efficient, and very, very handy to have around. So let's back up, and we'll show you a little bit more about this. All right, so I have it back up against the wall there. It's a little close to the wall for my comfort, but we're doing this to test it. So I'm going to show you something really quick. I have my heat gun here. We're going to go to the bottom, and I'm showing, can you see that? 213, 215. Now we're going to run up the top, and you'll see it goes down a little bit. Because like I said, the heat rises up from this. There's oil in the base and in the tubes there, and it rises up. So you'll see it'll go from 200, 299, whatever. Down here, you'll get back up to 220, 219. So it works fairly well. And it is very, very warm. I got to say, even standing here, I can feel that coming on to me. It's not overly obnoxiously warm, but it is comfortable. Let me pull it back over here a little bit so you can kind of see it up close and personal. There we go. All right. So this does have protections in it. This does have tip-over protection. If this thing tips over, it shuts off. So, yeah, you might end up getting some things melted underneath your chair, desk, whatever, wherever you're using this. But it won't start a fire. Very, very handy. It is very, very hot along the top, and that's why you have that little handle there so you don't have to grab it. I'm going to push it back a little bit. There we go. So you can kind of see the feet. The only thing I was concerned about it is kind of thin, so it does wobble a little bit, but it's very, very stable, and these snap right in. It snaps right into the bottom with the feet, so there's no problem with that at all. Another nice feature about this is it's totally silent. Again, if you've plugged in those other types of heaters, the little ceramic ones with the fans, those things are loud and annoying, okay? Let me tell you, they're really loud and really annoying. So with this, you have a silent way of keeping nice and warm. Now, we are going to plug this into the power station next. I want to show you how it works. But the last thing I want to mention is the good part about an oil heater, okay? These aren't metal elements in here. This is oil that's heated up inside each little tube, sort of. This stays warm after you unplug it. With a traditional heater that's blowing hot air over maybe coils or elements, it's going to cool off really quick. This will stay nice and hot for a while after, because you're heating up oil. You're heating up some kind of fluid in there that's going to stay hot, hold and retain its heat for a while longer. I have noticed that too. As a matter of fact, I was shooting my video yesterday and I came out here and I got interrupted in the middle of it. So I unplugged this because I don't like leaving heaters plugged in if I'm not there to watch them. It's just paranoid like that. And I unplugged it and I came back out and I'm sitting here doing my video and I was like still nice and toasty warm. And I'm like, oh, I forgot to plug it in. And I reached down and it was still hot. I mean, that's still hot there. So definitely a handy little thing, and nice that it stays hot after the fact. All right, let me set up my little power station with this. I'll show you the draw on it, and we'll show you just how well this thing works. So what you're looking at here is a little Opus power station. I do have a kilowatt meter drawn in here. It's showing 343 watts on the station itself, and we're going to back that out and take a look. It's showing 351, so the station's actually kind of overestimating it. So that's pretty darn good. 343 watts or 351, however you want to look at it. You have 1.5 hours of runtime on this. Now, that may not seem like a ton of runtime, but to get this up and running takes all of maybe 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to move that out of the way a little. And you'll have nice, warm air coming on you. So that is the result of that. You're showing 343 watts on there, or if I push the button again, 352 on the power station. Again, the bigger the power station, the longer this is going to last for you. But all in all, I'm pretty darn pleased with the way this is working. Very low wattage, low amperage draw. And for heaters, that's incredible. Because again, I've plugged in some friends' little, those little tiny ceramic heaters that they sell in Walmart. They're, maybe about this big and, the little tiny little black boxes. Those things eat power. They're insane, all right? So you're not going to find something as low as this. So it isn't even 400 watts, really. It doesn't even pull 400 watts. And there is heat coming off this thing. I will show you. Where are we at here on the bottom again? 212, 215. Yeah, same heat, 220. Same heat. So it is working. Anyway, let me unhook that, and I'll give you a little info on the power station if you're interested. These are on sale right now. I have a link down below for $399.99. So for $400, you're getting a 600-watt power station. And from Opus, which is a good name, I have a lot of their stuff. Works very, very well. Maybe you add another $100, you get a solar panel too. So I will give you a link down below if you're interested in picking one up. I really stand by these. They work great. This one we've used the heck out of in the house here. I have used the heck out of it for everything. And it's still going strong a year later. So definitely good stuff. Anyway, that's the link down below if you want to check it out. Let's finish up on the heater here and give you some final info on it. Before we wrap up, I've had this unplugged for about 10 minutes now, and I want to show you how well it retains the heat. As you can tell here, here's the plug, okay? It's unplugged. And I'm still getting 201, 202 on the bottom. And the top is still 195, you know, still hot. Believe me, I wouldn't want to hold that with my hands too long. So it's definitely hot, still retains heat. That's the nice thing about these oil radiator type heaters is they retain their heat very, very well, even after being shut off for quite a while. So the dimensions on this, about 15 inches high, about 17 inches across. The weight on it, 6.45 pounds, so it's not overly heavy. Again, they rate this for 400 watts. I wouldn't try this on a 350 watt generator, you know, because it pulled about 352, 351, even though the kilowatt was saying 340. I wouldn't try it on that. So it's rated for 400 watts. So most of the generators, the power stations that I've seen out there, will run this no problem without even thinking about it. The draw on it is about 3.3 amps total current draw, and your power cord here is 6.4 feet. So definitely can keep it far enough away from a plug. No worries about that at all, and I like it, and it's going to live out here, believe me, because up until I would say about March, when I come out here to shoot videos in the morning, it's friggin' freezing cold, okay? And I usually have to bundle up to do it. Sometimes I break down and I'm kind of bad and I leave the door open that runs from my kitchen out to the garage so the heat can come out here. I'm sure my electric bill isn't liking that, nor is my heater, but it definitely does the job. And, you know, for me, day-to-day use, everyday use, this is awesome because I don't have to go out here and run propane and go through propane or butane bottles. I just plug it in for normal everyday use. But for an emergency, if you've got the power backup resources, if you have a power station, if you have even a homemade power station with a decent inverter, you can run this no problem. So anyway, this is the Newair 400 watt under desk heater. I would say it's worth a whole lot more than just an under desk heater. I will have a link down below. They run about $64.99, so for 65 bucks, you're getting yourself a really good quality stuff. You've seen I've done Newair stuff before. I believe I've done their air units, their cooling units. Well, their heating units are really good too. And this thing draws such little power that for you folks that are in the schoolie community, that you know they convert the school buses over, for you RVers, stuff like that, if you have a way to power this, okay, via a power station or a battery bank inside your RV, this is definitely a good thing to get because it doesn't draw a whole lot of power. Anyway, folks, like I said, link will be down below. I do have a 10% discount for this. It is Iridium_10. Don't worry, you don't have to remember that. It'll be down there right by the link for it. And I will leave a link for the Opus power station as well if you're interested in picking that up. So anyway, folks, thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out all our links down below. We have our Amazon affiliate store. And folks, if you don't want anything in the store, I do keep most of the gear that I use in the channel on there. But if you're not interested in what's in the store and you just want to help us out, click the link and shop as you normally would. It really does help us out. We have our freeze-dried wholesaler link, okay? That link down there will save you 15%. And by the way, folks, this is how I know people watched the end. We have a mid-rat sale going on right now. Remember the mid-rats with the pizzas and the McDonald's sort of-ish breakfast foods? Today, it is lobster. Freeze-dried lobster. Now, it's not cheap. But let me tell you something. After some kind of calamity, collapse, disaster, pull out a bag of freeze-dried lobster that's 10 years old and just as good as new, you're definitely going to want to check that out. And when it does come in, I will do a review on it. I want you guys to see it. It's not cheap, but you can pre-order it now. And how that works is you put your order in, you pre-order, and then when it's ready, it gets shipped out. So don't worry, it's coming. You got to pay for it first so you can get all the orders in, order it, and then ship it out. So it is a mid-rat deal, and there's going to be more of those with freeze-dried wholesalers. Below that are My Patriot Supply. That's preparewithiridium.com, preparewithiridium.com. You can check that site out. We have awesome deals on food storage there. $200 off a 3-month kit. If you have absolutely nothing and you're just getting into the world of prepping, maybe you're a little interested, you want to dip your toe in the water, this is the way to go. My Patriot Supply has very inexpensive, large amounts of food to stockpile away in buckets. Just make sure you put away water because it does need to be boiled and does need to be rehydrated. And for $200 off, You can get 3 months worth of food put away. I believe it's 6 buckets worth of food. You know, that you just hide in a closet somewhere. You don't have to build a whole storeroom or storage racks. Stick it in a closet somewhere, and you've got some emergency backup food for hard times. Below that is finally our Thrive Life freeze-dried food store. If you guys are interested in Thrive, remember, there's nothing to join. You can join and be a consultant. You can join and be a delivery customer, but you don't have to. You can go on the site, order the stuff, try it out, and see what you like and what's right for you. They have amazing food. And those are really the 3 freeze-dried food storage people that I trust and I store from, and they're on my own personal storage racks, shelves in my storeroom. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.